I am back with the milk, and I'm ready to talk about Arcane. All right. Wait, where'd everyone go? Riddle me this. How is it possible that an episode containing so many characters, so many ideas, and climactic moments is also such a vibe? When Arcane isn't busy using my expectations as a twister mat, it's serving me relaxing lo-fi music playlists to contemplate philosophy to. Look, check this out. Okay, it doesn't look like much, but think about it. When was the last time a major character in this show pursued something because they got bored and wandered off? Not to suggest that episode 6 doesn't also dabble in chaos, but just that it's more of a side hustle than its main gig. More than any other, this one just made me want to sit back and soak in the atmosphere, helped in no small part by the wonderful sound design. Yeah, explosions, mythical weapons, and creature noises are good and satisfying, but so too is the occasional rustling of a wind chime, or a gentle breeze drifting by as the hushed ambiance of people going about their daily chores punctuates the silence, only noticeable when you take them away.
His dream of your family?
It's not so immersive now, is it? With the sheer volume of characters trying to accomplish different goals, it was necessary that there be some overlap, and episode 6's solution to this is Vander. He's like the MacGuffin everyone chases, with Vi and Jinx wanting their dad back, Victor seeing potential in what Vander could build, and both Mbessa and Singed seeking to rescue their respective daughters. His time in the commune also feels like an analogy for an Alzheimer's patient being taken to a nursing home, and his resistance to eating and drinking aligns pretty closely with people who are near the end of their lives. The montage of Victor's failed attempts to connect with him is terrific. The lovely music matched only by the jaw-dropping illustration of a decaying mind. And while I'm dropping the needle on the broken record that is my praise for the animation, are you kidding me with this watercolor? Just casually toss that into the episode, did you? If the making of this season is under 5 hours, I'm calling Mr. Rossetti. Anyway, fantastic scene and a strong addition to the canon of character recalling treasured memories of family because of the actions of a little kid backed by a guitar-led song named Remember Me. Good stuff. The vistas and pastel colors of the commune are a wondrous sight to behold. Insert shots of hummingbirds and greenery contrast against the industrial wasteland on which the place was founded, with accents of gold and steel lining the hauntingly beautiful corruption. Although I couldn't shake the feeling that this was all just a setup for a horror movie, there's just something unnerving about the way everyone stares blankly at danger. Like whatever Victor uses to heal people also gives them the self-preservation instinct of an Oblivion NPC. I was also just really suspicious about this fruit. What's the deal with the fruit? Everyone has one. It's probably just an allusion to the fruit of knowledge from the Garden of Eden, but there's also a chance that the crew member responsible for making them said, look, this apple took me 2 weeks to rig, and if you don't include it in half of the shots, I'm deleting Isha from the project. Oh, wait, never mind. She does that herself. Man, changed my mind. This show sucks. Really, I shouldn't be surprised. She's been hoarding a collection of death flags large enough to lead a conquest, and yet the amount of denial coursing through my veins was absurd. I should probably lower the dosage. All right, Riot, I did warn you about the consequences of doing this. However, this scene's too good, you guys. Jinx saying maybe this is like a do-over hits a bit different now, doesn't it? Season 2's already had plenty of callbacks to the first, but this is a straight-up mirror image, both in the sense that it reflects Powder's actions, but also in that it flips the script. What was once an act of negligence is now a decision made with absolute clarity. Somber tones give way to optimism as the music flares up, and Isha greets her fate with a smile. For all the ways a small child could transition into the past tense, this is the best I've seen in a very long time, and for that reason, I'm adding a gold star on top of my suit for emotional damages. Well done, Riot. Stay away from my family. All right, what's next? Mbessa training Caitlyn in the arts of the Fire Nation, reminding me that I have yet to watch past episode 4 of The Last Airbender, but also showcases some of Mbessa's complacency. The last time she spoke of sacrifice, she tried to appeal to Caitlyn's sensitive side, sympathizing with her over how tiring it is. But mentioning how sacrifice is one of her core principles tips her hand and creates a moment of realization for Caitlyn. Even Rictus seemed to pick up on it. I didn't know where to put this in the script, but everything about the way this scene is shot and paced telegraphed Rictus cutting this guy down, but the fact that he didn't is a great example of how this show subverts expectations. Rest in peace, Rictus. I loved you in Mad Max. As for Vi, I knew these two were working together the moment they walked in. It's been clear to me since episode 4 that Kate's heart wasn't fully set on the path of violence Mbessa carved out for her, but that doesn't make her betrayal any less satisfying to watch. Also, the fact that all it took was a single utterance of cupcake to activate her neurons is amazing.
Just like that! Fine.
Look, not everyone's motivation is an exercise in moral righteousness, all right? Some people just want to be called a funny nickname by their girlfriend because it makes their brain release the chemicals. And if I catch any of you watching the upcoming live-action Lilo and Stitch remake before the original, I will Bezier keyframe through your walls. They missed each other, come on. Both Vi and Caitlyn had their own respective rebound. And don't think it escaped my attention that Caitlyn wipes her hand across her lips. Everything in animation is a choice. Regarding Mbessa's short-sightedness, as far as she's concerned, her new weapon is all but secured. Her commander just proved her ultimate loyalty, and the one loose end she thought she did have was just served up on a silver platter. I'm no cartoon villain, but if I were in her shoes, even I'd start monologuing. It's only natural.
What do you think?
I quite like the interactions between Vi and Jinx in this one. They're feeling much more sisterly now and make great foils for each other. Jinx spends much of the episode going through an existential crisis of sorts, genuinely happy to be spending time in Vi's company, but understandably reluctant to express intimacy at the same time. Either way, I'll echo what I said in episode 5 by saying that it's nice to see her experience comfort in any capacity, no matter how fleeting.
What if we stayed? We?
No. Oh shoot, I forgot we can't have nice things. But before we get to that man, let's circle back to the messianic bundle of tinfoil and cobwebs running the show. Victor. The inclusion of Skye as his lab assistant is a welcome change of pace from the blank stares and vaguely curious expressions we've seen from him thus far. When I first watched season 1, I theorized that Victor absorbed Skye when he healed himself. Seeing her again after his reawakening supported this, but I wasn't quite sure if it was a conscious presence or just a mirage. Either way, it's a lovely dynamic. This is easily the most contemplative episode of the season yet. Really makes you thonk emoji. And Victor's conversation with Singed about evolution and fate is a big part of that. One reading that I had was that the invisible hand Victor refers to is human instinct and how it carves our behaviors into predictable rhythms and shapes. His official title in the commune is Herald, which in this context refers to one who can glimpse into the future, but I don't think he can actually do that. I think he's just really good at observing patterns. If human instinct was a measurable force to a higher being, learning to read it would let one functionally predict their behavior. If that's the case, I'm thinking his revelation at the end is that until we break free from our instincts, we can never truly make our own choices. This whole episode almost feels like a large-scale science experiment, with the shots that bookend the episode acting as both hypothesis and conclusion. I don't think Victor's dead, not in the character sense at least. His human body's done for, but I don't think that's gonna be much of a setback. The imagery of his home resembles a cocoon, and the emergent pattern Jace's hammer produces looks like a butterfly. So if anything, I think this action served as the catalyst for his final glorious evolution, Mewtwo from League of Legends. So yeah, Jace is interesting. Hardly 2 minutes of screen time and not a speaking line to be found, but he certainly makes an impression. I'm beginning to think that Hextech may have been a mistake, but I don't know what makes me feel that way. But I suppose the real question is who's at the wheel? Is it actually Jace? He hasn't been doing his tasks. Victor alludes to another force at work within him, and right before he tightens his grip on his hammer, the gemstone on his wrist glows. Perhaps that's where his cosmic buddy is freeloading? There's also the line, "I won't fail." So whatever he's answering to clearly can't engage with our world directly without the help of an Ironwood cosplayer. At the same time, I don't get the sense that he's being puppeteered as such. The purpose with which he carries himself signals that this is something he has to do, like he's seen the truth behind the curtain of Hextech firsthand. Long shot perhaps, but the percussion that plays when Jace is going hunting has a similar rhythm to the Terminator theme, so maybe Jace has been imbued with knowledge of the future somehow, and hunting down Victor is an attempt to prevent disaster. Probably reading into it too much, but what if I'm right for once? Could you imagine? Here's how I'm choosing to interpret this. Jace is doing the right thing. Good job, Jace. Why? Well, I'm something of a pattern recognizer myself, and this season has trained me that anytime I think it's gonna go left, it clips through the ground. Jace is the good guy in this scenario. I just know it. Don't ask me how. Sorry, I wanted to leave this blank, but my IRS agent told me that if I don't say at least 3 things this time, I won't be able to keep filing the bad section as tax deductible. And number 1, here we go. Flashing back to Caitlyn hatching her plan with Vi felt like a rare disruption to Season 2's avoidance of info dumps. But between you and me, it is very quick, and the silent tension built up over this act more than makes up for it. So when they're not looking, I'll let this one go. Number 2. Well, no, it's fine, I got this. Playing a touching flashback right before Isha's impersonation of a creeper was very rude. 15 points from Gryffindor. And one of the character stories was rushed. Probably. All right, that's 3. Which character? I don't know. Ask a real critic. So yeah, this episode hit the spot. I'm like that cat where when you scratch it just right, it goes serving tragedy and catharsis in equal measure, yet still managing to keep its tone remarkably balanced. I do worry for Jinx though. Isha was the one block holding her together in a swiftly written Jenga metaphor. As for what's next, I'm putting my Monopoly dollars down on episode 7 being about those who missed the booking window for Act 2. Episode 8's gonna be 60% Black Rose, 30% Jinx channeling her inner sad Ryan Gosling, and 10% Vi and Caitlyn bonding by way of Portal 2 co-op.
Oh, wait, no. Just die.
Wow, you're so supportive. Episode 9, I don't know, the council gets reestablished? They're gonna have to find some new members though. The turnaround's been pretty bad this year. Dear viewer, I have a confession to make. Act 3 intimidates me because I know almost nothing. I prefer not to wander into media harboring expectations, but the knowledge that Act 3 hits different was nigh impossible to avoid. At the very least, I'm still ignorant as to how, and save for a trading glance at the IMDb scores, which looked a little something like 9. Haven't heard anything about its quality. I simply cannot wait until I can browse the internet without planting my head into the ground like an ostrich at the first sight of blue hair. Can I just say, thank you so much for your continued patience, you guys. Imagine watching my videos has to be like showing Arcane to one of the sloths at the DMV. The moral of this act is that maybe the best people to forgive are those you think deserve it the least. Heimerdinger might have been onto something when he said some mysteries are best left unsolved. And if you want to arm yourself against a tyrannical dictator, try telling your girlfriend that she's cute. Cave Johnson, we're done here.